Pray 2 rak'ah, 2 more. That's usually the way it's done. Over here you'll do 4 altogether. And then they want to do another adhan. Now, the adhan, if you do it slowly, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes each time they do it. Am I right? Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the adhan. Pray 4 rak'ahs. 5 more minutes for the adhan. How much time have I got left for the khutbah? And I told him, guys, why are you doing 2 adhans? Sunnah, brother. I said, Sunnah of who? He said, it's in the book. I said, whose book? Well, I don't know, but this is what we do. But the Prophet ﷺ didn't do it. And you don't need to do it in prison. Well, anyhow, I'm explaining about bidah. This is my point of talking about these things. Because there's nothing wrong with having 2 adhans. Obviously, because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the Khulafa Rashidun. He mentioned about it. He didn't mention it like in the khutbah every time, but he did mention that these are rightly guided. Rashid or Rashid is guidance. These are the rightly guided Khalifa. So you can take from them. They're not going to come up with something new. And they didn't. Okay? So that's where that second adhan is coming from. The Tarawih, which you mentioned, was never established at the time of Rasulullah, but there's a reason, and he said it. He prayed all one night with them in Tarawih, prayed with them again the next night in Tarawih, and the next night they all gathered and expected it again. And he didn't come out all night until in the morning. And they were still waiting. They want to know, oh, what happened? You didn't come back out. He said, I didn't want to do it again because I didn't want the people to think it is fard. Can I share with you something? He was right. He was right. Because his successor, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, never instituted it. Okay? And then at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, he came in during Ramadan and at night, and he's seen everybody, one over here, one over here, one over there, 2 over here, 4 over there, all different ones. And you know how it is. Some people are pretty loud and others are quieter, and it would be hard to listen to your imam. Somebody else said, Allahu Akbar. You go, oh, it's not me. Oh, sorry. You get confused, especially if your head's on the ground and somebody said Allahu Akbar, you come up, oh, not us yet. Okay, still not us. So, I'm guessing, I'm making this up. I'm telling you what I'm guessing happened. I didn't say it happened, but this is probably like what it was. And he said, okay, put it all together, and we'll all pray together. Because he understood that there's no way you would think it's fard. Now, we never did it at the time of Rasul. We didn't do it at the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. I'm sure you don't think it's fard now, right? But 1400 years later, right here in India, and I'm guessing, because I wasn't here in Ramadan, but you tell me if I'm wrong, how many people showed up in Ramadan for Tarawih, and you never saw them once in Fajr? Huh? Did it happen? Am I right? And you never saw them, some of them you didn't ever see at Jummah. Because they think it's fard. They don't want to miss the Tarawih. And Rasulullah knew that. He knew if he did it, they would think it was fard. Subhanallah. But now let's jump to the next thing. After the Khulafa Rashidun, and we didn't talk much about Ali, and it's only because of time. But in his time, he did, of course, many great things. And nothing that he really added to Islam, but things that we got better understanding on from the Prophet ﷺ. Because he was a Khalifa, and he was very close because he was the son-in-law, married to the daughter, father of the grandchildren of the Prophet ﷺ, and also his cousin. Not to mention he's like one of the very first people to make shahada when he was only 9 years old. Having said that, I want to now talk about the other side of this word, innovation, the bad side. Okulu dalalatun finnar. This misguiding is into the fire, and it's talking about these bid'at which are not acceptable. But how will I, living 1400 years later, and really I'm busy, I'm working, I got a job, or I have a business, and I have a family, and when am I going to get time to go to a madrasa somewhere and sit there and study Arabic and get it all together? How am I going to do that? How do I know what's bid'ah when I don't even know what's aqidah? How am I going to know? Okay. So, again, Allah is the one who guides us. A brother was asking me about that on the way over. We were talking about it. How to get the right kind of knowledge. Believe it or not, the Quran told you even how to get knowledge. The Quran. And it's not in the first word, iqra. How many of you think iqra means read? Huh? Guess what? Nope. It means recite. If somebody said iqra means to go get a college education, I'm sorry, man. You don't know the meaning of this word. It comes from a root, qara'a, the same word that Quran comes from. And Quran doesn't say this is a book all about philosophy, arts and crafts, is it? This is a recitation. The same Quran the Rasul ﷺ heard, didn't read, heard, and recited. Qara'a. Quran, iqra. Recite. Okay? Everybody with me? Not mad at me, are you? Okay, cool. Now, next, the Quran does teach us, though, how to get knowledge. In fact, it even tells us what knowledge is. No other religion is so complete, by the way. There's not. This is a complete way of life. It's not just a religion. It's a deen, man. Check this out. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. Allah has all the knowledge of what's in the future, what's in the past, what's all around the creation, and you have no knowledge, zero, except what Allah gives you by His permission. Is that true or false? Therefore, you can't come to me to get knowledge. You can't. You can't go to Shaykh Jafar to get knowledge. Unless Allah is going to guide you with it. He tells you in here to go to the people of knowledge. But if that's all there was, that means anybody, non-Muslim, goes up to Shaykh Jafar, he's going to be a Muslim. All you got to do is just walk up there and go, "Hi, here I am reporting for duty, sir." Okay, next, shahada, next, shahada. It's not going to work like that. Because they're missing one ingredient. Another place in Quran, when you're seeking knowledge, Allah told you, make this dua. Rabbi zidni ilma. Yes or no? Okay, now we understand. If I need knowledge, who am I going to ask? My Rabb. Rabbi, my Lord, increase me, zidni, ilm, knowledge. By the way, I just happen to remember about something. Sometimes we ask Allah to increase, but we don't say what it is that needs to be increased. I don't know if you do it here. When I was in Pakistan, I heard a lot of people doing this. When they say thank you, shukran, shukr to somebody, right? How do you say it? Shukr, shukran, like this? Shukriya, that's it. That's what I heard, shukriya. But they said, no, some of the Muslims now, they're kind of good in their religion, they want to say it in Arabic. They want to say the good way, which is Jazakallah.